with dividing, it says divide each term separately. I'll show you what I mean by that, but you're going to divide everything that's plus by each term. And then it says remember the exponent rule. The exponent rule is that you subtract exponents. Okay, this thing about dividing only happens if you're dividing by one term. You see on number 11 how you're dividing by 9r? That's one term. That's called a monomial. You see on number 13 how you're dividing by 3x? Still just one term. 2x squared is one term. 5v squared is one term. If it said 3v plus 2, that's two terms. You can't do it this way. Okay? If it said x minus 10, that's two terms. You can't do it this way. That's something that you'll learn in Math 3, how to divide when there's two terms like that. But when there's just one term, you divide every single thing by whatever you're dividing by whatever's on the bottom or whatever it says divided by that thing. Okay? So on number 11, what that means is that I'm going to take each of these terms and I'm going to divide each of them by 9r. Okay? So you divide the numbers. 18 divided by 9 is 2. And then what do you do with the exponents? Subtract. So that would be r to the what power? 4. So it's kind of like on the bottom you're getting rid of an r is sort of what's going on. Okay? The next one, 36 divided by 9 is 4. And then you subtract 4 minus 1. So r to the third. 27 divided by 9 is 3. R to the third. And then divided by r would be r to the what power? Second. Any questions about that? Okay, let's look at number 12. So I'm going to divide every single term by 5v squared. So it's nice whenever it's written this way because I can just automatically write that divided by v squared on every term. Alright, 45 divided by 5 is 9. And what do I do to the exponents? So it would be 4 minus 2, so that would be v to the second. Okay. 15 divided by 5 would be 3. How many v's are left? 1, so we have v. Alright, this is the tricky part. 5v squared divided by 5v squared. Okay, the 5's, when you divide them, go away. You just get 1. Right? Okay, what about the v squareds? They go away too, because 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay? You don't just not put anything though, you still have to put a 1. If there's 3 terms that you start with when you divide, there has to be 3 terms when you get your answer. Okay? And think of it like, instead of just canceling, think of it as dividing. So I'm dividing 5 divided by 5, and I got 1. Okay? Questions about that? Alright? Next one. So the next one's a little bit, it's the same thing, but a little bit harder to write. If you can figure out how to write it, you go for it. I'm going to write it out just so that I can have room and I can show it to you. So 9x to the 5th over 3x, 6x to the 4th over 3x, and 3x over 3x. Okay, 9x to the 5th over 3x. You divide the 9 and the 3, so you get 3. Subtract 5 minus 1, so x to the 4th. Alright, 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then x to what power? To the third. Good, 4 minus 1. And then what do you have left? 3x divided by 3x? 1. Any questions? Alright, last one is very, very similar. There is something tricky about this one, so I'm going to go ahead and talk you through it. And I'm going to take each one, and I'm going to divide by each one. And it's the last one that's tricky. I think you can do these two pretty easily. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And then it would be x squared. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then there'll be x. Okay, 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now, this is where it's tricky. See, if you subtract 1 and 2, you get a negative 1. Or if you think about like getting rid of whatever's there, you're getting rid of an x on the top. And what that means is you have an x left over on the bottom. So you leave an x on the bottom like that.